and the seam routes and stuff like that. You didn't see as much coverages, where they were trying to disguise different things. And so that's really the biggest adjustment.
Well, you had two teammates at Troy, one of which is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, DeMarcus Ware and Osi Umenyiora. Do you have any stories about either one of those guys? I know you mentioned DeMarcus Ware. He had ran the 40 for some NFL scouts that had came down to Troy, and it was pouring down rain.
Yeah, man. So D Ware, when we got there in 2000, he came from Auburn High School, and he played wide receiver in high school. He was 205, and so he hit the weights and he started gaining weight, and he was a absolute machine. So when after our senior year, we were sitting in class because we had a lot of business classes together, and he was telling me that he didn't know what to do because his agent had called him, and he was supposed to work out in front of some NFL coaches, and I think a couple of head coaches were actually there that day, had flown in to see him, and he said, "Man, everybody's telling me not to work out, not to run." And he said that it could hurt my draft status and all this stuff. He actually went 11th overall, first round to the Cowboys. But and I asked him, I was like, "Well, what are you gonna do, man?" And he said, "Well," he said, "I think I'm gonna run." So I said, "Well, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go watch you." So he ended up, even though everybody told him not to run, he said, these guys came a long way to see me work out, and I'm going to honor that by working out. And so he goes out in the rain and ran a low 4.5, but his senior year he was closer to 260 at the time. So things worked out pretty well for D. But there was one time, another story that I have on DeMarcus was for a personal story. So we were running a drill. I don't know if we were in a scrimmage or we were running a drill. We're doing something where I'm running a speed option and I'm pitching it off of DeMarcus. So I went to pitch it, and I faked the pitch. I turned it up inside. He went with the fake, which if you ever, that's probably the only time that I was ever able to get DeMarcus. But I'm sure, with my speed, I probably got hit by a defensive tackle 2 yards from there. But I'm sure DeMarcus, he probably remembers that because I think I talked trash about it for our remaining time at Troy.
Yeah, you faked out a NFL Hall of Famer. That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it wasn't. It really wasn't nothing special, but I remember it because we laughed about it because, I don't have much speed. I got him that one time, and so I talked trash about it for a while. But that was we had some really good times back then.
Did DeMarcus stick out like a sore thumb as far as you just kind of get down there and you just kind of know, just watching him and looking at him, that this guy's NFL bound for sure?
Yeah, I think we all knew it. Now, I think we all knew it. There was a lot of guys that I played with, that we played with, that went to the NFL. We had some really good defenses at Troy, and then we had some special guys come through on offense as well. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody knew, especially by the time he was a senior, that he was going to not only go to the NFL, but he was going to be great in the NFL.